Hello and welcome to the Clean Truck Check password reset video. In this video, we will show you how to reset your own password and go over a few possible errors you may run into along the way. So to start, you'll see that we are at cleantruckcheck.arb.ca.gov. We will now click Login and we will generate our username here in this box. It is extremely important that you make sure that your username has 0 typos, because if the system cannot find your email account exactly, it will believe that you do not have an account. So please double or triple check your username to be your email that is on file without any typos. Once we're confirmed here, we'll hit the next button. And when we get to this screen, it should mean that you actually have an account with that email address. So if you're able to get here, you should have an email address with that or an account with that specific email address. Now, being that we do not know our passwords, we will hit forgot password. If you cannot get to this page and it says unable to reset password at this time, typically that means you have a typo or you do not have an account at all. If that is the case, please try to create an account with that same email address. And if you receive the error message of the email address has already been used, then you need to email hdim@arb.ca.gov so we can look further into that specific email address and what may be occurring. But if you receive a different error code, that means the email address does not have an account. So we are going to hit forgot password, and we will get this pop up right here, which says, do you want to send a verification email to this email on file? And if you do, that is your password reset. If it's successful, you will say, we have sent an email to that. Click on the verification link in the email to continue with the code below. So we go back to sign in, and at this time, we wait a few minutes, sometimes up to 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how busy the server is, to receive our password reset. Now, if you receive that, you click that link and you reset the password. If after setting the password, your browser generates a page that says My Apps, as in applications, and it has one that looks like Clean Truck Check as an app, you do not need to click on the app. What you need to do, and it has more to do with your internet browser and its saved cookies, is to open an incognito window, which you can either do by clicking on the 3 dots on the right and opening an incognito window, which is here. Control-Shift-N is for Google, and I believe also Safari. I think Microsoft Edge is a difference, but go ahead and click the 3 dots and open a new incognito or private browser and go to cleantruckcheck.arb.ca.gov and log in with that new password you have set up. That will override that My Apps page, which is not what you need to have. So if you run into that error, use a private browser window, and that should fix the problem. So we're going to go back to the main page, and we're going to walk you through what to do if you received either the unable to sign in message or you could not get a password reset. So if we cannot get unable to sign in as the error we get, we want to try to create an account. Now, there are 2 different types of accounts, so please be sure you're trying to check the correct type. For my example, I'm going to use an entity account, which is the vehicle. Testers are for testers. Entity is for any vehicles. So we're going to do an entity account, and we're going to try to use the same email address that I had used prior. And when this tries to create an account, it will tell you very specifically the entered email address has already been registered with this account type. This is different than the business name being taken. So very specifically look at this. This is telling you that email address is already taken. This means that there is an account on file for this email address specifically. If you cannot reset the password and you receive this code, please email hdim@arb.ca.gov from the email address that you're trying to get into so that we can look deeper in and possibly do a password reset for you. Now, if we were to change this, let's just change it by a little bit and check to see if there's an email and an account associated with this email address for an entity account. If I hit continue and I'm able to get to the next page, this tells me that there is not an entity account with that email address I entered. So this lets you know that you do not actually have an account under the email addresses you've tried. So you can move forward and create an account here. If you do create a duplicate account, we can look into that. If you want to check, if you get to this page and you believe you have your vehicles in the system already, you can go back to the main page and you can use the vehicle lookup box here. When you enter the VIN number, you will get a result of compliant or non-compliant. If you receive a compliant status, that means that the truck is in the system and currently compliant. If you receive a non-compliant status, you'll see that it says it's either been deactivated, it is not in compliance, which also means that it could possibly not be reported. So if you're looking up your VIN and your account, your email account does not have an account, it's most likely that your VIN is not in the system, and you can move forward and create an account. If you're pretty sure that you actually have an account at this stage, you could stop and email us at hdim@arb.ca.gov and provide your VIN number in the email, and we can look that up for you and find out which email account is associated with that VIN and move forward. So we're going to go back to create an account. I'm going to give you guys one more situation here. So we're going to use the vehicle account. And we're going to continue to proceed to say, okay, I'm going to create an account because I can't do a password reset. And I don't think at this point I actually have an account with Clean Truck Check. So we will create our account type and fill out the required information. Make sure we verify our address. And I'm going to use an account name that I know is already in the system to give you an example here. And the purpose of this example is to show you that the system requires that each account have a unique name. Now that means that you may need to add a comma or a period or add the INC to your business name or the LLC, because across all of the hundreds of thousands of accounts that are in the system, it is absolutely possible that you share a business name with someone else. Being that these are not registered legal business names, there's no problem with making slight alterations to this or having someone have a similar business name to you. So if we have ABC Trucking, for example, if someone has already claimed that name in this particular system, does not mean the legal business name, I would then need to use A.B.C Trucking as an example. And that would override that as long as that name has not been taken. So if we click next, while the page loads, you'll see the entity and legal name already exists in the system. Now, if we have already checked and our email address is not taken, right, because we would have received a different error message. If my email was already taken, I couldn't have gotten to this step yet. And then I also checked my VIN number, and that was not in the system. For what I could tell, it was non-compliant. That tells me I do not have an account with the email. I do not have my vehicle in the system. However, the name has been taken. At this point, I could absolutely stop and email hdim@arb.ca.gov. However, it's also very, very possible that someone else just shares a similar business name with me. So if I were to go back to step two, and alter the name slightly by adding a comma or a period, if no one has taken that variation of the name, I can then proceed to create my account. For testers specifically, because many testers work for the same company, we ask that the organization name in a tester account be left empty, and it will just be your first and last name as the account. So again, if I'm a vehicle account, an entity account, and my name has been taken, it's possible that I have an account in the system that I've forgotten to log in for, and HDIM email team can help you with that. However, if you're feeling like you do not actually have an account, then you can alter that business name and move forward. For testers, on the other hand, please leave the organization name empty, because as a tester, you do not need the business name in there, especially if you're working for a company that has multiple testers. The tester account will just be your first and last name. So hopefully this helps everyone. I know that the system is not always perfect, so there definitely can be system glitches. And if you feel like you're running into a glitch, and you've checked everything we've mentioned in this video, please feel free to email us again. We're here to help, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day.